Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're tackling something that is honestly a terrifying but super common mechanical mystery. We've all been there, right? My goal today is to finally demystify engine hesitation once and for all. I want to arm you with the knowledge to understand exactly what your car is trying to tell you, and honestly, save you from handing over a fortune for expensive, totally unnecessary mechanic bills. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this incredibly relatable scenario. You're driving on an open highway. You need to pass the slower car in front of you. You confidently press your foot hard down on the gas pedal, fully expecting a nice surge of speed. But instead, nothing. Your car suddenly stutters, it hesitates, you experience a total drop in engine power, almost like the car is totally helpless and paralyzed. Why does your car do this right when you demand power the most? Well, to figure this out, we're going to use our diagnostic detective checklist. We'll look at the hesitation mystery itself, the combustion triangle, how clogged filters choke things up, ignition issues, the hidden MAF culprit, and finally, how smart diagnosis literally saves you money. All right, starting with our first suspect, that terrifying loss of power. Put your detective hats on, folks. This is what a lot of drivers locally refer to as CATMA, a severe stuttering. You press the gas pedal hard on the open road, expecting a surge of speed, but instead, you feel a sudden stutter and a total loss of power. The car just flat out refuses to go. Now, while this feels absolutely catastrophic, like you think your engine might literally explode, this sudden hesitation usually has super simple, basic mechanical roots. It's not magic, it's just mechanics. And to understand those mechanics, we've got to look at how your engine actually generates power in the first place. Moving on to the combustion triangle, these are the three absolute essentials for engine power. Every internal combustion engine out there relies on a very specific recipe to give you the torque and acceleration you need. It absolutely requires three things: clean air, sufficient fuel, and a strong spark. Think of it like a three-legged stool. If any single leg, any side of this combustion triangle, breaks or fails, the whole system collapses instantly. The engine won't burn the mixture properly, and yep, it'll immediately stutter and lose power. So when your car hesitates, our job is just to find out which side of the triangle broke. Let's investigate the first two sides. Which brings us to clogged filters. Basically what happens when the engine just can't breathe. So the crucial point here is that your car's engine actually breathes, very much like you and I do. If it can't breathe, it can't run. Your engine relies on two main pathways. First, its lungs, the air filter. Over time, heavy dirt and dust build up here, literally blocking fresh air from getting into the combustion chamber. No air, no power. Period. Second, the engine's vanes, the fuel filter, which is sometimes known locally as the Safaria. Impurities and dirt from gas stations completely clog this filter, preventing an adequate flow of fuel to the engine right when you demand that acceleration. But the brilliant thing here is the fix. A simple, periodic replacement of these two filters, sticking strictly to your car's maintenance schedule, solves this specific choking issue completely. Next up, ignition issues and misfires, or as I like to call it, missing the vital spark. Because think about it, even if you have perfect clean air rushing in, an excellent fuel pressure, it means absolutely nothing if you don't have a strong spark to ignite it all. When that spark fails, you get a misfire. This happens when worn-out spark plugs or broken ignition coils just completely fail to burn the fuel inside one of the engine cylinders. And let me tell you, the visceral result of a misfire is impossible to ignore. You will feel a very clear stutter and a severe shaking or vibration in the car. It's especially noticeable when you're just sitting there idling at a red light or when you're really trying to push the engine hard to accelerate uphill. And this brilliantly illustrates why you don't need to guess anymore. So how do we actually track down that missing spark? Well, the answer is code P0300. Instead of just guessing which cylinder is broken, which is a total nightmare, you can use smart diagnostic tools to read your car's computer. Advanced tools like the Think Car Think Diag that connect right to your phone, or an economical AutoLink AL319 can instantly pull up codes like P0300 and tell you exactly which coil is failing. It's so simple. But now, let's look at how this builds into an even trickier problem. Let's dive into the hidden MAF culprit. This is all about confusing the car's computer. What if the air, fuel, and spark are mechanically fine, but the car's brain is just completely confused? Meet the mass airflow sensor, or MAF for short. Now, sometimes the throttle body plays a similar role here too, but the car's computer relies entirely on this MAF sensor to measure exactly how much air is entering the engine. That way, it knows precisely how much fuel to inject. But here is the catch. Over time, engine oil and vapor build up on this highly sensitive little part. This dirt causes the sensor to send totally false readings to the computer. And bam, this ruins the delicate air-to-fuel ratio of our combustion triangle. The result? A sudden hesitation, that dreaded stutter, and a highly annoying, painfully slow, delayed response when you hit the gas pedal. Finally, let's talk about how Smart Diagnosis actually saves you money with a quick workshop story. To prove just how vital this knowledge is, let me share a real-life case study from the workshop. I recently had a customer come in complaining of severe engine hesitation. They were super stressed out and handed me a quote from another mechanic. They said another workshop told me I needed to replace the fuel pump at a huge cost. And let's be honest, for any driver, hearing you need a new fuel pump is a massive, terrifying, and wallet-draining misdiagnosis. Nobody wants to deal with that, right? But we didn't just start tearing the car apart. Instead, we plugged in our scanner. And guess what? It wasn't the fuel pump at all. The true culprit was just a heavily soiled MAF sensor, covered in dust. The fix was almost too easy. We simply sprayed the sensor with a specialized electronics cleaner. And by the way, you absolutely must use the specialized spray so you don't damage it. And then we popped in a brand new original air filter. That was it. A simple scan at a basic cleaning restored the engine's full power, completely eliminated the hesitation, and saved the customer hundreds of reals. Now, what's really interesting here is that it all comes down to two approaches. The misdiagnosis approach, where you blindly replace the fuel pump, is massively expensive, and shockingly, it wouldn't have even fixed the root issue. The car would have kept right on stuttering. No way. Meanwhile, the smart diagnosis approach, just cleaning the MAF and changing the air filter, is cheap, fast, and effectively restores full engine power. Smart maintenance always starts with simple cleaning and basic diagnostics first. So what does this all mean for you? Well, I want to empower you with a highly actionable DIY preventative maintenance routine. First, always scan for codes using a tool like ThinkDiag or AutoLink to eliminate the guesswork right out of the gate. Second, clean your MAF sensor safely with the right electronic spray. Third, let that engine breathe. Check and replace your air and fuel filters right on schedule. And finally, add a high-quality fuel system cleaner directly to your gas tank to dissolve any deposits in the injectors. It's a really simple routine, but it keeps that combustion triangle perfectly balanced. Which brings us to the end of our diagnostic journey today. So I'll leave you with this. Next time your car hesitates on the highway, are you going to remember the combustion triangle and check a simple sensor before opening your wallet for a massive repair bill? I certainly hope you will. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep those filters clean, keep your sparks strong, and I really look forward to exploring another mechanical mystery with you next time.